Alright, this phone was once a flagship killer, a premium compact beast. But in 2026, the Galaxy S22 feels like one of those devices that should be irrelevant by now. Yet somehow, it's still in the conversation. And that raises a real question. Is this a smart buy or just outdated hype people refuse to let go of? Because on paper, it still looks strong. But real life? That's where things get interesting. Pick up the Galaxy S22 today. And honestly, it still feels premium. No compromises here. You've got Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on both front and back, aluminum frame, and a clean, minimal design that hasn't aged badly at all. In fact, compared to a lot of modern phones that are getting bulky and over-designed, this feels refreshingly simple. And the size? This is where it stands out. At 146 millimeters height and just 167 grams, it's compact without feeling tiny. You can actually use this phone one-handed, something that's becoming rare in 2026. But let's be real for a second. If you like big screens and immersive media, this might feel a bit small. This is not a content consumption monster. It's a practical, everyday phone. Now don't let the size fool you. That 6.1-inch dynamic AMOLED display is still gorgeous. You're getting 120 Hz refresh rate, 1080p resolution, which is perfectly fine at this size, and peak brightness hitting around 1500 nits. In real-world use, smooth, sharp, and bright enough even outdoors. Scrolling feels fluid, colors pop, blacks are deep, classic Samsung display excellence. But here's the catch. This isn't pushing boundaries anymore. Newer phones are brighter, more efficient, and some even smoother with adaptive refresh tech that's more refined. So yeah, still great, but no longer wow. Here's where things get a bit tricky. The Galaxy S22 runs on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 in the US. Back then, it was powerful. In 2026, it's decent. For everyday use, social media, messaging, YouTube, it's still fast. No major complaints. But push it a bit. Gaming, heavy multitasking, long camera sessions. That's when you start noticing heat buildup, battery drain spikes, occasional frame drops. And that's the reality most people ignore. This is not a power user phone anymore. If you're expecting flagship level performance in 2026, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Now let's talk about one of the main reasons people still consider this phone, the camera. You get 50 megapixel main, 12 megapixel ultra wide, 10 megapixel true 3x telephoto. And yes, that true zoom still matters. Photos? Still solid. Great dynamic range. Punchy colors, sometimes a bit too punchy. Reliable consistency. But if I'm being honest, Samsung's processing here can feel a bit aggressive. Sharpening is noticeable, and sometimes images look slightly artificial. Low light? Still good. Night mode does its job. Maybe even too well sometimes, making night shots look unrealistically bright. Video performance holds up nicely too, especially from a main camera. Stabilization is solid. But again, this is where you need perspective. In 2026, newer phones have better HDR, more natural processing, superior low-light video. So while the S22 camera is still good, it's no longer leading. Now here's the part most people sugarcoat. I won't. The battery on this phone is weak. 3,700 milliamp hours in 2026? That's just not enough. In real usage, light users, you'll survive a day. Moderate users, evening charge. Heavy users, you're hunting for a charger by afternoon. And that's not ideal. This is not a phone you buy if battery matters to you. Charging is also nothing special. 25 watts wired, 15 watts wireless. No charger in the box either. So yeah, you're dealing with average charging and below average endurance. Here's where the S22 redeems itself a bit. Samsung promised 4 years of Android updates, 5 years of security patches, which means support goes up to around 2027. That's actually impressive longevity. One UI is still feature-packed, customizable, and polished. But let's be honest again. By 2026, you're already near the end of its life cycle. You're not buying this phone for future-proofing. You're buying it because it's cheap now. Now let's talk money. because this is the only reason this phone still makes sense. Back at launch, this was an $800 phone. In 2026, new, rare, old stock around $400 to $500 if you somehow find one. Refurbished, Amazon, Best Buy $250 to $350. Used market, even $200 to $300 depending on condition. And this is where things get interesting. At $250 to $300, you're getting flagship build, great display, solid camera, decent performance. That's actually strong value. But here's a reality check most people avoid. At that same price range, you can find newer mid-range phones with better battery, more efficient chips, longer future support. So it becomes a trade-off. Old flagship feel versus new mid-range practicality. And you need to decide what matters more. So, should you buy it? Here's the honest answer. No sugarcoating. Buy the Galaxy S22 in 2026 only if you want a compact phone. You care about premium build. You're getting it for a good price, under $300 ideally. You're a light to moderate user. Avoid it if battery life matters to you. You're a heavy gamer. You want long-term future-proofing. You expect flagship performance in 2026. Because that's a mistake people make. They judge it based on what it used to be, not what it is today. The Galaxy S22 in 2026 is not a bad phone. It's just a very specific phone for a very specific user. It's a compact, stylish, still capable device that delivers a premium experience. But only if you accept its limitations. If the price is right, it makes sense. If it's not, you're better off moving on. Because nostalgia doesn't justify a bad purchase.